Thanks for joining me today for a video devotion. My name is Derek. Our title today is Believing the Unforeseen Promise. We're talking about Abraham, Genesis 15, verses 5 and 6. And he brought him outside and said, "Look toward heaven and number the stars if you are able to number them." Then he said to him, "So shall your offspring be." And he believed the Lord, and he counted it to him as righteousness. When God comes to Abram, later Abraham, with the promise of a son, it is easy to understand Abram's disbelief. After all, his wife Sarai, later Sarah, has been barren her whole life, and the two of them were getting on in years. In their context, these sort of things do not happen. People in their elderly years no longer have children. The promise affirmed and reaffirmed by God could have seemed too big and too unlikely. However, despite all of this, Genesis 15 notes that still Abraham believed the Lord, and for that reason he was seen as righteous. Despite his misgivings and even the ensuing plan Bs that he and Sarah undertook, Abraham in his heart believed God that he would bring about the promise as he said he would. When we take God at his word without seeing the full extent of his plan, we too are seen as righteous in his eyes. True faith is defined by such a posture, being the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. That's Hebrews 11, verse 1. Abraham could have looked at the impossible odds stacked against him and said, "Nope, not going to happen." But he heard the promise of God and built his life upon it. Through him, a mighty nation would come. He wouldn't be around to see every part of it, but he would be at the start. He would be God's vessel to bring it about. When we believe God's promise without fully seeing, we are entrusting ourselves to him in a way that allows great things to happen. And God never abandons his promise. Amen. Question for us today. How, like Abraham, am I able to step into God's promise for my life despite not seeing the whole picture? God, give us faith today to believe in what you're doing, whether or not we can see it. Yes, that's our prayer, God. Guys, be blessed and encouraged today.